John, William, Richard, Charles. In the Middle Ages, what did these common names mean? Greetings, my esteemed lord. I am your loyal advisor, Shinbai. Congratulations on the birth of your 14th son. I know you are currently troubled by how to name your youngest son. I shall provide you with some sound advice. If you find it useful, please approve my suggestion on his naming day and grant me 2 coins that represent your family's honor. Medieval Europe was a society that deeply valued heritage. This resulted in many enduring dynasties and ancient families. However, when it came to naming noble heirs, they clearly lacked creativity. I once heard a joke in a tavern in Lombardy. A joke. A duke was hosting a banquet in his castle hall. Amidst the revelry, a tragedy occurred. The large chandelier fell from the ceiling, killing 13 of the guests. Without exception, all 13 guests were named William. This may sound like an exaggeration, but if we count the kings and princes of major Western European nations, the names of nobles William, Henry, John, Charles, and Richard were indeed mass-produced. Out of humility, you could also choose one of these to name your 14th son. Now, let me briefly explain the origins of these names so you can see which is more suitable. Let's start with William. Although I cannot precisely calculate the usage of this name among the medieval nobility, from my observation, it was certainly one of the most common. It's generally believed the name is a compound of the words will and helmet. It roughly means a strong desire to protect, something to that effect. It definitely does not mean I want a helmet. If you wish for your child to be the family's guardian, you can give him this name. Next, you should know, the name is William in English, Guillaume in French, Wilhelm in German, and in Italian, it's Guglielmo. The main female variant is Willa. In England, ever since William the Conqueror founded the Norman dynasty, William has been an incredibly popular name. From King William I of England to William Marshal, Earl of Pembroke, and even the Barons de Ross, 4 of the first 6 barons were named William. Such examples in England are countless. The name William originated from Proto-Germanic. Its root words are a compound of will and helmet. The current form took shape after a series of changes. An early user of the name was Charlemagne's nephew, Guillaume de Geloni. In the 11th century, the Normans brought the name to England, where it became a popular name. It gradually became popular across Western Europe, in Scotland, Sicily, Holland, Switzerland, and other regions. Many famous figures bore this name. Of all the men named William, who do you think is the most famous? Much like William, I believe Henry was also one of the most frequently used names in the Middle Ages. It might have been even more common than William. It was especially common among monarchs. Henry is also a compound name, composed of home and ruler. It roughly means ruler of the homeland, or master of the house. This holds a very fine meaning for your family. If you wish for your son to rule your ancestral lands for a long time, you can give him this name. When you grow old, these fine descendants will carry on the family's duty, ruling your ancestral lands. You will be able to rest without a care. You'll no longer lose sleep, worrying about your family's future. Again, let's look at this name. In different countries, in England, it is Henry. In France, it is also Henry. In Germany, Heinrich. In Italy, Enrico. If we examine the rulers of England, France, and the Holy Roman Empire, we find a great number of kings and emperors named Henry. Before the Middle Ages ended, England was already up to King Henry VI. The Holy Roman Empire likely had 10 or more monarchs named Heinrich. This name first originated from Old Frankish. In English, Harry is also a variant. Next, you should be familiar with the name John. A mutual friend of ours is named John. The name John has a more religious nature. Many saints, popes, and clergy were named John. Of course, many monarchs also used this name. Its popularity likely stems from John the Baptist and John the Apostle, 2 highly renowned saints. The name John is known in many places. While in France, it's Jean or Jehan. In Germany, it's Hans. In Italy, Giovanni. The main female variant is Jean. It originates from Hebrew and means Yahweh is gracious. So, you can hear its strong religious ties, can't you? It first became popular in Greece, and gradually, through the Crusades, spread throughout Europe. If you wish for your son to be a devout believer, you can give him this name. Next up is Charles. Charles is a popular name that evolved from Proto-Germanic. It is most popular in English and French-speaking countries. It was especially common in the Frankish kingdom and its successor states. An early user of the name was likely Charlemagne's grandfather, Charles Martel. Later, many descendants of the Carolingian dynasty used this name. If your family has Carolingian blood, I believe this name would be quite fitting. Charles means free man. In English and French, it's simply Charles. In German, Danish, and Russian, it is Karl. In Italian, it is Carlo. In Spanish, it is Carlos. The main female variants include Charlotte and Carla. Now, let's look at Richard. In our own language, Richard and Charles can sound quite similar, but in their original forms, they are two completely different names. The name Richard also evolved from Proto-Germanic. It means king, ruler, or leader. Like William, it was brought to England by the Normans. In Italian, it's Riccardo. In Portuguese and Spanish, it has a similar pronunciation, though the spelling is different. This is a very proper name for a monarch. For example, King Richard the Lionheart's temperament was a perfect match for the name. If you hope that your 14th child will one day become a king, you should consider this name. The name Philip comes from Greek. It can be traced to the kings of Macedon, Alexander the Great's grandfather and father, Philip I and II. This name was also often used by monarchs in the late Middle Ages. It means lover of horses. If you love horses and hope your 14th son will as well, you can give him this name. Female variants of Philip include Philippina and Philippa. This name was especially popular on the Iberian Peninsula. Many rulers of Castile and Portugal were named Philip. Next is Edward. Edward is one of the few popular names to originate from the Anglo-Saxon language. It was very popular in England before the Norman conquest. After the conquest, it was shunned by the upper class for a time. It became popular again after the reign of Edward I, the famous Edward I, Edward III, and Edda. This name is a compound of wealth and guardian. It can be taken to mean wealth guard. No, guardian of wealth. Finally, let's look at Louis. Louis. This name originates from Old Frankish. During its evolution, the name Clovis also appeared. It means famous warrior or bringer of spoils. It's full of martial spirit. If you admire combat, you can give your son this name. In Italian and Spanish, it is Ludovico. In German, it's Ludwig. So what have you decided? In truth, all these names have fine meanings and have been used by many kings and nobles. Among the lesser nobility and common folk, they are also widely used. By choosing any one of them, you really can't go wrong. I suspect you'll most likely choose John. Am I right? Please be sure to share your choice with everyone. I look forward to seeing you next time.